fields of Rugby School in Warwickshire, England, in 1823, where, as legend has it, a boy named William Webb Ellis, in a flash of rebellious brilliance during a football match, picked up the ball and ran with it, defying the rules and inspiring a legacy that would reshape the world of sport. Whether or not the tale is true, the act symbolized the birth of rugby football, a game defined by courage, teamwork, and relentless physicality, and over the ensuing decades, what began as a rough, chaotic schoolyard pastime gradually took on shape and structure, codified by the boys and masters of Rugby School who cherished its raw spirit while seeking order in its play, leading to the formation of clubs like the Blackheath Football Club and the eventual establishment of the Rugby Football Union (RFU) in 1871, a pivotal moment that formalized the rules and gave rugby an institutional backbone. From the outset, rugby's appeal was evident, not only in England's elite schools but also in the industrial towns of the north, in Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, and across the seas to the colonies of the British Empire, where the game's emphasis on honor, discipline, and masculinity found fertile ground. By the late 19th century, rugby had taken root in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and beyond, spreading through military garrisons, universities, and missionaries, evolving in each region into unique playing styles and passionate rivalries that fueled national pride and regional identity. And yet, despite the sport's growing popularity, deep fractures emerged, particularly over professionalism and class divisions, with working-class players in northern England chafing against the amateur ideal upheld by the southern elite, resulting in a dramatic split in 1895 when 22 clubs broke away to form the Northern Rugby Football Union, the birth of Rugby League, which developed into a separate code with its own rules, culture, and legends. Meanwhile, Rugby Union continued to flourish under the amateur code, gaining prestige through the Home Nations Championship, now the Six Nations, fierce contests like the Bledisloe Cup and the Currie Cup, and international tours that became epic voyages of athleticism and diplomacy, such as the legendary 1905 tour of the Originals, New Zealand All Blacks to the British Isles and France, whose haka, brutal defense, and sweeping attacks stunned spectators and defined a new global standard for the sport. In the Southern Hemisphere, rugby became more than a game. It was a symbol of national identity, as in South Africa where the Springboks embodied Afrikaner pride, or in New Zealand where Maori players and traditions were gradually integrated into the All Blacks mystique, and in Australia where rugged bush towns and coastal cities embraced the Wallabies with fiery enthusiasm, creating a tri-nation rivalry that was both athletic and ideological. The 20th century saw rugby become increasingly international, even as its amateur status remained a point of fierce debate and occasional hypocrisy, with under-the-table payments, job placements, and winked-at endorsements becoming commonplace, until the pressure finally burst in 1995, when the International Rugby Board declared rugby union officially professional in the wake of the first Rugby World Cup won by South Africa in a politically and emotionally seismic moment, with Nelson Mandela donning the Springbok jersey and handing the trophy to Francois Pienaar, a gesture of unity that rippled far beyond the stadium. Of post-apartheid reconciliation, the World Cup itself, inaugurated in 1987 by the IRB and co-hosted by New Zealand and Australia, quickly evolved into the sport's premier event, with iconic moments such as Jonah Lomu's unstoppable runs in 1995, England's drop goal glory in 2003 under Johnny Wilkinson, New Zealand's back-to-back wins in 2011 and 2015, and South Africa's triumphant third crown in 2019 under Shah Khaleesi, the team's first black captain, a figure whose leadership echoed Mandela's legacy and proved the sport's enduring power to reflect and influence society. Beyond the international stage, domestic leagues flourished as professionalism unleashed a new era of elite athleticism, commercial sponsorships, and global fan bases, with clubs like Leinster, Toulon, Saracens, and Crusaders achieving dynastic dominance and bringing new innovations in training, tactics, and analytics, while Sevens Rugby, with its faster pace and Olympic inclusion in 2016, introduced the sport to new audiences and nations from Fiji to Kenya to the United States, all contributing to a growing mosaic of rugby's global footprint. Women's rugby, long overshadowed, surged into prominence with inspiring World Cup triumphs by New Zealand and England, the rise of stars like Portia Woodman and Emily Scarrett, and increasing investment in grassroots development and professional opportunities, mirroring broader movements toward gender equity in sport. Yet rugby also wrestled with profound challenges, from concussion concerns and long-term brain injuries that prompted lawsuits and rule changes, to financial instability among clubs and unions, to debates about inclusivity, race, and the role of tradition in a rapidly changing world. But through it all, the essence of rugby endured: the crunch of the tackle, the poetry of a well-spun pass, the unity of the scrum, the elation of a try under the posts, and the handshake at full-time, symbols of a game that demands not only strength and skill but also respect, resilience, and camaraderie. From muddy English fields to the high velds of South Africa, the storm-lashed coasts of New Zealand, the stadiums of France, the slums of Argentina, the schools of Japan, the pitches of Georgia and Fiji and Samoa and Canada and Ireland, rugby has grown into a brotherhood and sisterhood of shared passion, a sport both ancient in its origins and forever evolving, carried forward by coaches who dream, players who bleed, fans who roar, and nations that find in its rhythms a reflection of their soul, a game of war without weapons, of artistry through collisions, where every pass backward moves the team forward, and